Hey, everybody. Hello, everybody. Okay, so let me get set for today. Thank you for joining me. We have a lot to talk about today. I want you to remember first, this is my opinion only. Anything I say on this live is my opinion only, and it's for entertainment value only. So you can do your own research and decide what you think for sure. But I'm going to tell you what I think and what I see with my psychic gifts about a number of topics. And the reason I'm talking about them today is because I have been told very clearly by my guides that I need to discuss a few things that I've really been trying to avoid just because I don't like getting involved with negative things. But let's keep talking. You can request tarot readings in the chat box. So request your tarot reading. My moderator will send it over to me. You can also ask me any kind of spirituality questions. He'll send those over to me, and I'll do them in order as I get to them. And if I don't get to you, I want you to just go over and DM me on Instagram, okay? And we'll take care of it from there. Another thing, I can only do readings for people who are 18 years or older. I've been getting a lot of kids. Although I'm welcoming kids to my channel, I cannot do readings for you because I need parental permission, okay? All right, here we go. The order of topics I will be discussing in between these readings is, and I'm going to be doing tarot for some of it anyway, this Katie Joy, Tati Westbrook issue. Also going to Dulce Marie Alverrz and Linda Stolfoss, who disappeared almost a year apart. They've really weighed on my heart. And yeah, I just want to tell everybody what I see has happened and is happening with them. If I get to it, I'm going to talk about the current state of the world and explain why I didn't talk about it on New Year's Eve. Also portals and Ouija boards and what we need to know about them. All right, congratulations to the winners of my free readings, tarot readings for a year. I named a Storm, Sweat to 16, and Vaishali. They won free tarot readings one time a month for 12 months just by following me on Instagram and YouTube and entering the contest. All right, let's see who's here today. Hey, Vaishali. Okay, I'll get right back to that, okay? So let's get to my latest video on timelines. Covers the basics of timelines, and I encourage you to watch that if you ever had deja vu or anything that, you know, you really feel like you've done it before or you skipped something and you had a time gap, watch my video. And if you have any questions about those timelines, I want you to comment here on the chat, or you can comment under the video. All right, so I know a lot of you are here for this Katie Joy, Tati Westbrook thing. Full disclosure, I used to subscribe to Katie Joy, but I unsubscribed a long time before all of this happened, only because I really couldn't stand how petty she was getting. I mean, I enjoyed the, you know, the tea, the gossip, but I didn't like how petty she was getting. So I really unplugged from all of it. Tati Westbrook, didn't really know who she was. My daughter knew who she was. So I've been trying to keep up a little bit with it. But here's the deal. I really don't think Tati Westbrook gave a crap about Katie Joy, YouTuber from Minnesota, at all. And that is why she just sent these cease and desist letters so many times, because, you know, like, what does she care about some YouTuber in Minnesota, right? And when the cease and desist letters didn't stop, they only made Katie Joy actually dig in further and prove she's right and whatever she thinks she's right with. And that's part of the shadow self we're seeing there. And I talked to you a lot about a shadow self, but we're seeing Katie's shadow self come out here where she has to be right all the time at all costs. So when she kept getting those cease and desist letters, she dug in. And again, my feeling on this is the Westbrooks really didn't care until she started going after personally the husband. Then this is why this lawsuit happened, right? So the Westbrooks are being sued by a former business partner, okay? And really, I know nothing, I don't know anything factual about that. I only know what I'm feeling coming in from the universe. When they got sued by that former business partner, I'm not sure, don't quote me. They only sued Katie Joy to prove that that business partner was leaking information. Again, my opinion, allegedly, take it as you wish. So this lawsuit with Katie Joy was never supposed to go this far, ever, until Katie Joy dug in and made it worse for herself If she just would have been quiet and like stopped talking, like the rest of us would have done if we got 4 cease and desist letters and then a lawsuit. So what happened is, so now that Katie is like digging in and, saying that, she is, right, and the Westbrooks are going to lose. Yeah, they're throwing down. The Westbrooks aren't backing down now. And I don't blame them, honestly. Katie's behavior, especially going after their attorney, is just dumb. But what we're seeing here is that her false self, her ego, her shadow self is getting in the way. And we should all be using this as an example of how to live our lives. So what I see coming for this lawsuit. Now, remember what I said about probable future on timelines. Remember what I said on probable future on timelines. Probable future is what is probably going to happen if we continue on this timeline. So if Katie and the Westbrooks continue with all of this going on, 80%-ish, probably what's going to happen is it's never going to make it to court. They're going to settle, but they're going to settle for so much that it's going to break Katie. She's going to end up filing for bankruptcy in order to make the lawsuit go away. And that's going to tick all of us off, right? So yeah, she can totally go for this, get sued, owe something, and then declare bankruptcy because, that's the laws and she can get away with it. I do see a way out of it for her if she would just back down and, as everybody else has been saying, stay off social media for a while and kind of eat crow for a bit. And then, I do see this going away for her in the improbable future, but there is a way for her to do that. You've all been asking about her getting banned from YouTube. YouTube's not going to ban her. Why would they? She's good for ratings, right? She's going to keep going the way she is, was what I see. I'll throw some cards down while I'm doing this. The way she is, yep. She's going to keep going the way she is and then mess up again and then not be able to come back from that. So I see two futures for Katie Joy here. Either she can go down this rabbit hole she dug for herself and end up not at all happy, or she can back away and just kind of stay quiet for a while and let it settle because she's so fighting right now. Yeah. And that's not, the guides are telling me that's not all where she is right now. Not at all where she is. Give me 1 second, I'm listening. Yeah, and if she sees this, I hear you. If she sees this, yeah, I hope she listens to me. I hope she takes my advice just to back down, but I don't expect her to, honestly. But yeah, that is what I see happened. Tati and James Westbrook, we're never going to go after her until she made it worse for herself. How many of you agree with me? Give me a like or put a chat message in the chat box and we can discuss it, okay? I do see her having, a lot of you have asked me about Katie Joy, and I've seen chatter about Katie Joy having like some sort of, I don't know, personality disorder, or I don't think it's any worse than any of the rest of us. I think she just, when she got on to YouTube, just got kind of a bigger ego than she ever had before. And my question is to the husband. I got to try to go in on her husband, Todd. I guess his name's Todd. What is he? My husband would be ripping the phone out of my hand and saying, like, you need to stop on the internet. You need to stop until this is over. But her husband's not. So if I go into that a little bit, I think he is pretty much like her, where they just need to prove they're right, even if they're wrong. And they'll continue to say they're right, even if they're proven wrong, which is unfortunate. So that's what I have to say about Tati Westbrook and Katie Joy. If you have other questions, I can dig around in what's going to go on there, but that was the basic sentiment of it. Again, she does have a way to get out of this. All right, Vaishali, when will you get a job? I'm currently preparing for it. Okay, I'm just going to throw down 3 cards because I'm doing your tarot reading in a few weeks, and I don't really want to mess that up too much. Here we go. All right, you're under a lot of illusions right now. You're very much putting yourself under a lot of pressure and dark thoughts, and you're stuck. Yeah, I see where you're stuck. Okay. Central message is you're doing too much work on this. You're focusing too much on the job. You need to be a little more carefree and a little more, not so, it's not so life or death is what I'm saying. So when you are looking for a job, be more fun, like just show yourself who you are. And maybe I think something else is going to come out of the woodwork for you. And I can explore that a little bit in your full reading when I give it to you in a few weeks in February. Okay, I'll dig into it a little bit more. Okay, Ayana, sweetie, I think are you 12? You're 12 years old? I can't give you a reading, sweetie. I did you last week, and then my moderator mentioned that, your birth date was in 2009. I can't give you a reading. I'm really sorry. It's just against what I feel is ethical. So if you can get your parents' permission, I will definitely help you, but I can't answer questions for you unless I know your parents are okay with it, okay? All right. Let's get next to, my Gratefulness initiative. So last week I talked about gratefulness, and I was going to post something I'm grateful for every day because it really does make you feel lighter. It makes you feel focused. It makes you feel focused on the joy of now. And that's what we really should be doing, is focusing on the joy of now rather than worrying about the past or the future. And this is, Shelley, this is something maybe you should need to think about here. Focus on now. Okay, so where are you now energetically and emotionally? And when you fix that and you have positivity, you will get the job that you're looking for. But right now you're kind of stuck in this mucky place. So the grateful things that I put down, and I'm hoping you guys have done this too. I'm just going to list mine real quick. I'm grateful for the ability to bring hope and closure and love from the other side to the people here. This last week has been really great. I've connected a lot of people with their loved ones on the other side, and I just love to see that. I really do. My computer challenges, they teach me to slow down and reevaluate things, because every single time my computer crashes, I'm going in the wrong direction, and I have to stop, and I think, wow, I'm really grateful my computer crashed, or that would have turned out really bad. My kids, I'm grateful for my kids, especially my daughter who jumped through a first floor window this week to catch my cat. She literally, without even thinking, boom. So I'm grateful for my daughter and my 2 boys. And I'm also grateful for the understanding of the universal laws, especially the law of polarity, which I'm going to get to later when we talk about what's going on in the world today, because a lot of what's going on in the world today has to do with the law of polarity and has to do with soul contracts. And because we're all getting really, really, really tense and upset about this, it's making it a whole lot worse. So I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. All right. So I'm going to get to, there's 2 cases that not recently, maybe in the last year. Dulce Maria Alverrz disappeared September 16th, 2019. And then Linda Stolfoss disappeared June 21st of 2020. So these 2 cases have really weighed on me. And I know they've weighed on a lot of you too, but I am from Amish country near Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So hearing that an Amish girl was kidnapped, it really hit me. And then a year before that, this little girl was playing on the playground. If you don't know, she's playing on the playground, and she's with her little brother, and her little brother went back to her mom, and their mom started crying that Dulce was gone. What bothers me first about this, before I get into what I think happened, again, my opinion, is that the coverage of Dulce Maria Alverrz needs to be more. I mean, I actually asked Katie Joy to cover this when she disappeared, and she never responded to me, because I think this Dulce Maria Alverrz case needs more light on it. I mean, look what happened with Elizabeth Smart. I mean, the girl was gone for 9 months, and every day it was more and more, and we found her. So that bothers me a little bit. But here's what I think they're connected, and here's what the guides have been telling me to tell you. Sorry. I'm going to breathe. Okay. Here's what this makes me nervous. Just talking about this stuff makes me very nervous, only because of the energy that's pulling from me. Okay. So I do feel they're connected, only in that they both were taken and sold into trafficking. And what I can see happening, again, my opinion, with Dulce Maria Alverrz was that her mother was not involved. Her mother wasn't involved at all. To the extent that her mother was involved is this. She was having some sort of relationship with a man, and I don't know, they broke it off or something like that. And he either thought the mom owed them her money, or he was so focused on money and wealth that he knew that Dulce's mom was not a helicopter mom, was not going to be right on top of this girl. So he was very deeply involved in taking Dulce. I do believe she is still alive. I feel as if she is in the southern United States or in Mexico, in that area. Just that because, do I see her? I mean, again, if we focus more on her and if we focus, yeah, I do see her being found. And yeah, if we can focus more on this, if we can really just realize that this is a little kid that was taken and needs to be returned to her mother. I'm getting massive chills. So this is just not somebody we can forget about. All right. She is still alive. She is still out there. And we shouldn't be so hard on this mom because this mom was a teen mom, we need to give her a break. We need to realize that, we're not all perfect, right? And how would we feel if our little girl was taken? So yeah, there's what I feel about Dulce Marie Alverrz. If you have any comments about this case, she was in New Jersey. And I don't think I was there yet when that was taken, just hit me hard. Linda Stollfoss is a woman from Amish country in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And first of all, who's going to kidnap an Amish person other than somebody so deeply involved in their false ego, their false self and their ego and shadow self? I mean, an Amish girl. I mean, I can't even tell you the kind of karma and what's coming to that guy. I mean, honestly. Now, here's the thing. She's also still alive. She was taken also to be sold into trafficking. And the reason that she was such a good target, and I say a good target very loosely, only because this should never happen. Never happen. I mean, I think anybody who's human trafficking, anybody who's involved with this really needs to be pushed up on the death penalty, because I really think that this crime of trafficking is one of the most horrific in the world. So at least they have him. But the reason they found her clothes is because they target kids, they target women, they target kids who wear baggy clothes. They're easy to get off. So yeah, I mean, she was a pretty easy target. And I really pray and hope that the Lancaster, Pennsylvania police just kind of keep an eye on the Amish community a little closer, because there are these people, evil people have moved in. I feel as if, yeah, she's also still alive. She's a lot closer though than Dulce is. Which makes it ironic is that she is so much closer. I'm going to give it in the 100-mile radius of where she was taken. She's being held, but because she doesn't really understand and know how to use modern things, it's a little easier to keep her. Again, can we find her? Again, yeah, if we all collectively come together and want that woman to be found, we can ask our guides, our universe, and it will happen. But we all have to focus on it and make sure that we're praying to our guides to make sure that happens. So yeah, I pray for Dulce Marie Alverrz and Linda Stollfoss every day, and I hope you do too. If there's any questions, any more questions, spirituality-wise, tarot-wise, go ahead and ask me. Let's move on to, what did I say was next? Ghost hunting? Yeah. Ghost hunting, portals, and Ouija boards. Let's talk about one of my pet peeves. Okay. So I know a lot about you out there love going ghost hunting. I feel it. I need you to understand, though, that ghost hunting is not supposed to be done. I mean, for fun and games, there's a lot of TV shows on it. The one ghost show that I see that actually is making a difference is called Ghost Loop, because they are actually releasing the spirits at the end when they find them. And that's what we should be doing. So if you're going ghost hunting, you need to understand that these are actually still living beings. They still have consciousness. They still have thought. So imagine if you were in your house, and you woke up one day and somebody was just moving into your house. And somebody, was, not actually looking at you, but yelling things at you to get out. This is their house. How would you feel? That's what's happening here. Same thing's happening at Gettysburg with the battlefield. And the more we look for them, the more we go in and try to contact them, the more they kind of get shackled here on this plane because they're confused. So we really need to be conscious of that they are they are conscious beings. They're not earthly living beings, but they are conscious beings. They're just a little confused. And let me explain to you one area that I really bothers me a lot is Penhurst Asylum. Because, okay, so I have 2 kids with autism. Penhurst Asylum is where the kids would be sent who had autism before we knew it was autism. So it bothers me that these little kids' spirits are still there. And, they're just kids who had autism, and we're going and like trying to interact with them just for fun. So be a little more careful when you go there. If you go there, or if you do ghost hunting, just understand that they're not toys. Spirits and ghosts are not toys. They really need help to move on to the other dimensions. And that being said, when we talk about Ouija boards, I hate that they're being sold as a toy, only because, Ouija board is playing with a Ouija board when you don't know what you're doing is like opening your front door and just saying, okay, anybody who wants to come in and live here can. Would you do that? So what happens with the Ouija board or anything? What's that game? My daughter, Charlie, my daughter told me about any kind of those games. You're opening up a portal wherever you are. And what a portal is like a train station for spirits from any dimension, like the lower dimensions, the higher dimensions. It's just a portal. It's an entranceway to get into our dimension. So when we do that, when you guys do that and you don't close it off afterwards, or you're just asking, is anybody here? Yeah, the first people who are going to answer you are dark entities, and they're going to pretend that they're nice. And then you're going to think, oh, I met this nice little girl. No. Just don't play with Ouija boards. Because you're just stepping into something you don't really want to be stepping into. And in another month or a year, you're going to be really, really like, oh, what's going on? So another thing, I'm going to talk about the Bermuda Triangle in 1 second, but when you close off a portal, you have to actually close your session. So you see all these things where people are using Ouija boards and they scream and they run off and they say, oh, okay, okay. They didn't close anything off. So that portal is still open. The portal, so the reason things are happening in your house is because somebody either used something like a Ouija board or a seance or something like that and didn't close it off. They also might have brought in something that was not kind, not nice, not of a positive spirit. And that when you need somebody who knows what they're doing to come in and get it out of your space. So just advise against Ouija boards. Another large portal in our world is the Bermuda Triangle. Now, my youngest son is obsessed with the Bermuda Triangle. And while I was making this last video about timelines, I got a huge just download about listening to him talk about the Bermuda Triangle. And then I was talking about timelines. And I realized that the Bermuda Triangle is like intersecting, which I talk about in the video, an intersecting timeline in the middle of a portal. So it's this, if you think about a whirlpool in the ocean, it kind of sucks you down. So what's happening to a lot of these people who lost in the Bermuda Triangle is they're going through a portal onto a different timeline. So they're coming into a space where everything looks like it usually did in their life, or maybe some things are a little different, but they don't remember actually living that life. They remember living the other life. And they kind of just get dropped off. And everyone else goes, what do you mean? You were just here yesterday. And the Bermuda Triangle, I'm really going to keep meditating on this one because I'm fascinated about when it opens, why it opens, because that is a direct portal for timelines for everyone. And we really need to have a scientific study on it. So stay tuned for that. Any other questions? Spirituality, before I move on, do I see anything? Oh, you're welcome. Hey, Lisa, nice to see you. I will DM you, okay, Anana? All right, I just can't do anything for anybody under 18. It's just really not something I'm comfortable with, and I hope you understand that. I will DM you on Instagram, and if you can get your parents' permission, I'm fine with that. But I can't do any readings for anybody who are younger than 18. It's just against my ethics. I love that you're following me. Keep asking me questions, and I'll talk to you on Instagram. Okay. All right. Any other questions before I move on to my next topic, which is let's see. Oh yeah, the current state of the world. Yeah, I might wait on that one for a little bit. Anybody want a tarot reading before I get back to the current state of the world? Tarot readings, anybody? Numerology? While I'm doing that, actually, let me put down the cards, because what I'm going to talk about with the current state of the world, I will get to in a second. Let me put the cards down for what I see happening right now. I'm just jumped out in the States. So that card's talking about people in the States need to re-examine their relationship with wealth and money. And that's everybody. Everybody. That's what the guides are doing. Everybody needs to re-examine. And there's where the law of polarity comes in, because we're not talking about rich versus poor. We're not talking about race versus race or gender versus gender. We're talking about people's belief system and the lives that they live. So when the clash that's happening and has been happening for nearly 2 decades in the States, has not been recent, it's nearly 2 decades in the States, probably longer, but that's only as much as I've been conscious of it, is a belief system where in the States, there are so many different kinds of United States that it's hard to govern over all of and they're all true, they're all real. It's not like we can say, you're telling me a lie of how you're living. It's all real. All right. But I'm including myself as if I'm still there. The States are just living different lives, and we have to be understanding of that. So when it's saying re-examine your relationship with wealth, that means your life, your wealth of your life. Yep. Projecting lack. Well, that's a good card. So every single side of this is projecting what they don't have. So what do people understand about the law of attraction? If you project what you don't have, what's the law of attraction going to do? It's going to give you more of what you don't have. So if I say, I don't have enough heat, I'm cold, I don't have enough heat, the universe is going to say, oh, they're cold, I'm going to give them more cold. So every single side of this clash going on in the States right now is projecting lack. They're saying, I want this, I need this. They're saying, I don't have this. So the law of attraction says, I'm going to give you more of what you don't need. When really we need to be approaching all of this with positivity and using positive language, even I know this situation is so stressful. I mean, honestly, I had to check out of it this week because the whole energy was just dragging me down. I mean, I really, so yeah, we need to consider what we have. We need to consider what we have before we get upset about things, and to say you have this and I don't, or whatever. I mean, I don't see one right side in any of this, in any of it. And what I do see, and honestly, I didn't talk about this New Year's Eve, only because I like to stay positive. But yeah, I do see a clash coming. I see a clash coming probably around October-ish. And by a clash, I mean, in 18, Dongy dang, hello. In 1863 and 1860s, we had borders. That's how we decided who was against each other. We don't have borders anymore. Isn't that scary? I mean, we should be a country that talks to each other and doesn't start to hate each other. And it really is concerning for me that even my own friends, I mean, I couldn't even, my own friends this week were like, not even listening to me saying, be kind to everybody. We can't do that. Too late for that. When is it too late to be kind? I mean, that just stunned me when people are just saying, nope, can't be nice anymore. Last card I pulled for the States. This is the 6 of Swords. And what this says is it's an essential time for growth. And you can grow positive or you can grow negative. I do questions. Go ahead. You can do positive, or they can grow negative or positive. And it's your choice. And when you see everybody else like upset about all this stuff, it's up to you guys to stay positive. And I'm not saying that you need to deny your own truth or deny what you are living. What I'm saying is you need to understand the law of polarity, and that in order to balance ourselves and to make the law of attraction work for you, you need to stay balanced in the law of polarity. So you can't stay so rooted on one side or the other. You need to consider the other side with an open heart and an open mind. So, and I'm going to say this to my dying breath, because it is up to all of us to stop this conflict from ending, stop this conflict from continuing. It started already, from continuing. I'm going to answer your question 1 second, and then I'll get back to this, okay? So I'm going to pause here, and what I'm going to do is do a tarot reading, and then I'm going to get back and do a tarot reading about specific situations or people in our world, okay? And if you have anybody you want me to, okay, I will definitely get to this question about the extremism, okay? Let's see. Question from Donnie Dang. My question is, what do the people at my current work say about me? I know it doesn't matter, but I want to know in case I need to protect myself. Okay, before I put the cards down. So what I have learned is, hey, AK, what I have learned is that people talk about anybody, anytime, anywhere with anybody. Okay, so you do good, they're going to talk about you. You do bad, they're going to talk about you. You need to have a sense of confidence within yourself. Use the white light to surround you. Let me tell you, I mean, I'm on the top of the list for people to talk about. Hey, make sure that you want to know this question for positive reasons to improve yourself. Okay, I'll see what they say. I'm also going to listen to my guides just a little bit. Okay, but what I'm knowing. Okay, hold on. Definitely protect yourself. You might be drawing this in. You might be drawing this in. I'm seeing you. Okay, I'll put your cards down in a second, but here's what I'm totally seeing is that you're going from person to person, person to person. Hi. And like trying to make sure everybody's okay with you when you just need to be okay with yourself. By you doing this, it is, hey, Julie J, Happy New Year. It's making whatever the situation is a little worse. And yeah, I mean, people talk about everybody all the time and it's annoying, right? Hey, everybody, thank you for joining. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up so you can tell YouTube you like me doing these lives every week. Okay, let me see what your cards say about you, Donnie Dang. Stand your ground. First card, stand your ground. Internal conflict. Are you thinking of leaving that job? But you really like it, but you don't like the... Okay, so yeah, there's a conflict there with you like your job, but you don't like the people there. But this is saying stand your ground. Yeah, and you're working too hard to get people to like you. And you shouldn't have to. You're fine. I mean, honestly, I would tell you if I see a problem, with you. Justice card's coming out, though. That's good. So the Justice card tells us that you are going to get some kind of justice in whatever the situation is. So just, you need to stay kind, but stay neutral. That's what I'm seeing. Don't keep going to everybody to make sure you're okay. Just stick with yourself. Be happy, be kind. And this is going to work out. The Justice card is excellent, an excellent card to get. Again, you got another, do I stay or do I go? Let's find the answer to that. Do you stay or do you go? I do see that you're good at your job. So I'd be unfortunate if you would have to leave. Again, your last, Donnie Ding, I'm still here on you. Your last cornerstone card was talking about how you're swayed by gossip. It's the High Priestess lesson card. So you're swayed by gossip. It's reversed. So in order to change this to a High Priestess where you're trusting your intuition, don't listen to what anybody else is saying. Don't listen to what you think anybody else is saying. All right? Don't worry about them. Worry about you. I do see that you're very good at your job. And if you choose to leave, you will get another one, by the way. AK. Okay. The extremism in the USA has always existed. Always. The problem now we have is social media and news media that is biased to one side or the other. I stopped watching the news 4 or 5 years ago because I could not stand. I mean, it was like watching two different stories. The same thing happened, but you watch two different stories. Thanks, Donnie Dang. Thank you for subscribing. So it's watching two different stories. So I stopped. Yeah, and 4 or 5 years ago is exactly when I started getting my abilities to come out too. So extremism has always been here. There is a definite feeling of victimization from one side, which is valid. However, what happens when we project our victim state? What have I always said? Okay, when you project your victim state, what comes back to you? People and situations that are going to be more difficult and harsh and victimize you. All right. So there is one side that is definitely has been projecting a victim state, which is valid. I'm not even saying that like they don't have a reason to not, say this. There's another side that is starting to feel that way, victimized. But this is more of a quiet brewing thing going on. The cause of it, though, is human struggle of power. I mean, isn't that always what's going on? I mean, honestly, Dolores Cannon's book, The Convoluted Universe one, made me laugh because she, in there, one of her people that she was taking under hypnosis, I'm forgetting the word right now, it's the QHHT thing, talked about how every time other beings from other dimensions give us information, like Tesla was given the information for electricity, downloaded from another dimension. And it's supposed to be free to everybody. That's why we got it. It's supposed to help humanity. In the time of, so we got the nuclear equation, right, for nuclear energy. What did we do with it? We used it to kill people. So every time we get a download, somebody from around the world, it's usually about 4 or 5 people from different places around the world to get the same download, by the way. That's why you see the same ideas popping up elsewhere. Whenever they give us something that's really great, humans find a way to use it to hurt somebody else. Why do we do that? Okay, that's a human thing. So when we're talking about extremism in the United States, it's a human thing. It's based in power. It's based in survival. All right. And we need to understand that there are definitely 2, 3 extreme sides going on. I'm saying 3 because there's a third that has not come up yet. Okay. They definitely feel like they're fighting for their lives, or their livelihood, and their reasons are valid. Extremism, though, is all around the world, right? So it's a human thing. It's survival. It's what we think is right. But we're going to go back to the law of polarity and talk about how we need to look at things from the other side before we take action or take unkind words towards somebody else. I'm still thinking about that poor teacher in Paris who was killed in the middle of the street. Those kind of things. Like, we need to, all of us, no matter what our beliefs are, just look at from somebody else. If you really don't like what somebody else is saying, you need to stop and look at from their point of view. What are they seeing through their eyes? And this actually works for marital conflicts too. By the way, if you're fighting with your husband or your wife, look through their eyes and see what they're seeing and validate what they're seeing, because what they're seeing is true. Same thing with extremism. It's the same thing with all these, the polarization. Yeah. Okay, next one. Hey, Julie J. I went to see flat yesterday, wondering I'll be able to move the flat. Very anxious, excited. Oh, I know about moving, having your own privacy. Okay. You have recently been able to, you've recently made this decision to move, right? It hasn't been a long thing. Okay. I've learned when we move, when we look for new houses, it's the first one always is that tester one where you like really like it and then you lose it and you learn that lesson that you don't want to get too attached to something before you like sign the papers. And I'm getting that this apartment, this flat is one of the first ones you've seen. So do not do, I was just telling Holly this last month. Holly, if you're here, jump in. Because Holly was buying a house. I'm like, Holly, you cannot go for the first couple houses that you see because that's emotional. All right. You need to take your list, keep your emotions out of it. My father-in-law always told us that he's a realtor. He always told us there's always another house. There's always another house. There's always going to be another flat. So let's see what this has to say about this flat. Okay. Oh, you're trying for perfection. Ooh, this move is really going to do good things for you. You're going to be moving into who you actually are with this move. And that's why you're trying to run to get out. Restore balance. Yeah, you're running. Make sure where you move is not for emotional reasons. All right, Julie J. I want you to understand, because this card about excess is telling me that you are so desperate just to get out that yeah, you're going to take anything, and you're going to get trapped. I don't have a good feeling about this apartment, this flat. You're going to get trapped in something that you're not, and they're not telling you. We'll put the next 3 cards down. Okay. Okay, so this is a good place. This flat's in a really nice location. This card's telling you that you're putting too much value on that aspect of it, or it has some kind of amenity that you really, really like. Okay, you're feeling safe right now. Honestly, it's the card I just got out was the Sun. Things are going to get a lot better for you. I'm gonna let me do you just a couple months from now. See what's going on. The guides are saying if you need to get out and you feel unsafe, then find a hotel or something in the meantime. Yeah, and they're telling me you need to get out. You need to get out. Hey, Holly. Okay, Julie, let me see. Holly, you heard that, huh? March, April. Again, you got the stand your ground card. So you're headed in the right direction, Julie. You are having your boundaries, which is great. You do need to slow down. Okay, slow down. Find an in-between place, okay? Okay, I see what you mean, Julie. Julie's saying that she can't get a hotel because of lockdowns. Right, you're in the UK. Oh, lovely. The guys are telling me there is some way for you to go is there a neighbor? No. This is a challenge for you, Julie. This is a challenge. I get it. And Holly was in the same state a couple of years ago with her ex. All right, let me see. Okay, fear of the unknown. You have outer strength, fear of the unknown, and you're out of sync. Okay, so what they're saying is you're fearful of doing, moving forward with this. Okay. Keep looking. Try to find an in-between place is what I'm saying. Like you need to find an in-between place. And last resort. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. Find an in-between place. And at last resort, if this flat is still available, which I kind of think it will be, then take it. Okay, but you're trying to set yourself up for the best situation. And that's where I'm trying to get you to as well. If you feel there is no other choice, this flat is not going to be a bad thing, but it's not necessarily going to be the long run, the best thing for you. Okay. I see you taking an in-between spot. All right. Hey, any other questions? Am I catch up? I want to go back to the extremism. Because extremism isn't just in, that's a good thing, Julie, do that. Worst case scenario, look for something else first, but then you can do that, all right? And I'll pray for you, sweet, okay? If you want to set up a one-to-one, DM me on Instagram, all right? The guides are telling me I need to talk to you. So keep in mind that extremism isn't just in the United States, okay? Extremism is everywhere, and we have to remember to stay balanced. I mean, extremism is even still in our families. You could not like what your father or your mother's saying, and like stay rooted, but that's extremism. All right, I did miss one thing, though, didn't I? Polarized media. Yeah, I get it too. Honestly, when I moved out of the United States the first time, because I was an international teacher, I had my eyes wide open when I started, because we would get different news stations from around the world. And when you're in the United States, you only get the United States news. Well, back then you did anyway. And when I started watching news from around the world, it's like just different views. And I really appreciated that. I really did, because it gave me a better outlook on how I wanted to proceed. All right. Let's go to, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat box and my moderator will send them over to me. So far, we have gone over Katie Joy and Tati Westbrook. We've gone over gratefulness and why we need to stay grateful in the now. So this would be good for anybody struggling right now. Just look around and see what you're thankful for right now in this moment. Deepak Chopra taught me that, because the now is the only thing that exists. Past doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist yet. Right now is the now. And that's what you have to be thankful for right now. We talked about Dulce Marie Alverrz and Linda Stolfoss who've disappeared, and I'm hoping everybody can follow my lead and just pray and ask the universe and guides to find them and return them home. And we talked about the current state of the world, portals and Ouija boards. Anybody have any questions before I move on? You just pop them right here. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to put some cards down. And again, I'm going to tell you that I did not talk about this New Year's Eve only because I don't like thinking into the negative. When I talked about New Year's Eve, I talked about, the reason for the lockdown, the wind, the reason why we're always wearing masks. I see that dissipating or at least getting better by September. Okay. And the other thing is I see this clash in the United States rearing up around October if we cannot turn it around positively. Wasn't your question a reason for extremism, or did I miss one? AK. So yeah, I mean, around October is when this is really going to kick off if we can't turn it around. And I think, okay, what they're telling me happened over a couple of days ago has really opened a lot of people's eyes, but they're not talking about it. Okay, so it's really opened a lot of people's eyes, but they haven't talked about it. So you saw what happened in DC. We've also seen what happened in the last year or so with other kinds of protests. And I think a lot of people are starting to see that word extremism. Okay, AK, I'm seeing polarized media. Can you type your question again? Because I'm actually not seeing it. Thanks, AK. Julie's question. I wonder if it got lost. Bob, do you see her question? I don't see it. Because one got held. Yeah, the extremism, that's what I do see. AK, if it's not that same question, just type it in again because I think it got lost somehow. That's weird. Polarized mirror thing. Okay. Sorry, but let me just check this up. AK here. Yeah, I don't see it. That's weird. Yeah, if you could just put it in. I'm sorry, I don't see it. AK is one of my fabulous followers on Instagram, and she got a free tarot reading for a year. I also did an awesome session with her last week that really just sticks on my mind. I love connecting people to their families on the other side because it's very healing for, those here and on the other side, because those on the other side don't want to see us suffering, right? All right, AK, just type it in because I don't know where it went. All right. So if we think about the year 2021, I wanted to mention this last week, but I forgot. The year 2021 is actually a year 5 year, and that means a lot of change, I don't want to use the word conflict, but there's going to be a lot of change in this year. And that's what a 5 does. 5 just, it has to change. I mean, it's required for this year. So when we think about the change we're going into in 2021, don't fear it. Don't fear it. Just move into it with a good heart and positive vibration, and you're going to be fine. Okay, I still don't see your question. Do you think YouTube's holding it, or what do you think is going on? All right. Let's see I'm going to do a tarot reading real quick for anybody want me to do a tarot reading for anybody specific? Let's see. No, that's weird. We didn't get it. Can you send it to me on Instagram, and I'll look on my Instagram DMs. That's super weird that I didn't get your question. I wonder if, you might, no, that would even, sorry. All All right, AK, just send me your question. I have my DMs open right now, okay? Cool. I don't know. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out this YouTube thing, so sorry. All right, so if we go back to portals for a second, and when we try to connect with the other side, okay, when we're connecting to positive people, like people in your family have passed over, or your guides, you don't have to take protection, and you can just talk out loud to them. Like, your guides are here for you. All you have to do is talk to them and ask them what you're looking. Okay, what am I looking for? Or tell me the solution to this. Can you guide me to the solution? Is that okay? Anything like that, you just talk to. If you have to use some sort of in between, like I was going to say, medium, like a Ouija board, or Charlie's pencil, or the elevator game, any of that. If you have to use the medium to get you there, that generally tells you that you are inviting in darkness and negative entities. And my family has had experiences with that shadow man with a hat. Both my kids saw it. To this day, I regret not going out in the hallway and looking to see what was going on. But yeah, when those kind of things happen, you need to raise your vibration. And when we're talking about the shadow people, everyone wants to know about these shadow people because they're like fun to see on the videos, right? People love to watch these videos that like may or may not be true on Instagram. I'm sorry, I just looked at may or may not be true on YouTube. But when you run into a spirit, just consider, like, do you want to get it? You want views, or would you rather do the good thing and try to help that spirit? Okay. Okay. Your question, you plan to join work. Oh, I know why they blocked it. Seriously, they do not want that word mentioned on YouTube at all. The C word with the number at the end of it. Do you have a chance for promotion in department? Or will be the same in my life? I have applied in the past and some never make it. Okay. You know what though, AK? I think when you clear what we talked about last week and you come more positive towards your change, I think you are going to get, hey, Peachy Love, you're going to get job offers. So when you project it, they will come. But I think you were stuck in a state that, yeah, go ahead and ask a question. I think you were stuck in a state that kind of kept you in that mundane kind of sour life. Let me see what the cards have to say specifically, but that was my instant reaction from the guides, is that once you raise your vibration and you become more positive, you will be able to attract any of the jobs that you want. And I did tell you before that I do see you not staying where you are, but that's the probable future. Less probable is you're going to stay where you are because you're not changing, not becoming more positive. All right, hold on. I want me to shuffle one more time. All right, here we go. First card is facing challenging decisions. You have two different decisions, and that really is, do I stay in this job or do I look for others? And yeah, this is what we talked about last week. Okay, stop resisting change. So change may be scary, but it's facing you for a reason. So all of these things that are coming up for you that are difficult in family situations, job, whatever, they're there to test you. To see if you're ready to move on positively. And when you back down in a negative situation, you're kind of like, okay, I'm just going to stay here. Then your life stays the same. But if you face that challenge, whatever it is, I'm just going to make one up. So let's say somebody can't buy a car. Let's just say they can't buy a car. You don't have enough money. And okay, so you have to, and you really hate the idea of walking to the bus stop and getting on the bus. But when you face the challenge of, okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to walk, take the bus until I have enough money. That money for the car or the car will come sooner. So you can't think of things in a negative way. So when you said about a mundane life, you need to look at your life and find what you're positive about, and that you'll attract more of it. Okay. So you need to stop resisting that. Yeah, we talked about this too. They're saying you may have to take a step down in order to get a job elsewhere, or one that you eventually, I look at it like this. So you're at the top right now. You may have to take a step down or two in order to go somewhere else to reach the top of the next part. You understand? And just look at it like a learning experience. And that's what's supposed to be happening. Yeah. Yeah, I really do think you should try to move on. Let me tell you, AK, what I get from you when I read you is that you have so much. I've already told you have so much light, but you have so much to give that it's not being channeled in the right way right now. I really do see you being some sort of like superstar in whatever you're going to be doing. And it's not where you are right now. Okay, Peach Love, what's in store for me this week? Monday the 11th. I say coming back. Okay. Okay, so first thing before I put the cards down, Peach Love, is when you anticipate something being bad, going back to your workplace with like not cool people or not like nice people, they're not going to be nice. So when you anticipate that, that is what's going to happen. So what you need to do is have a more positive outlook of when you're going to go back about certain people. Okay, my guys are reminding me about, okay, so shadow people, it's funny because these people you're talking about, like they're aligning them with shadow people, which is hilarious. I've never had that happen before. Shadow people are from like the lower dimensions and they don't like people up above us, up above, like have love and kindness. Like they will not be around people who are real positive and have lots of love because they're afraid like we're going to infect them with love. So they stay away. And that's what the guys just said about these people. Okay, so I don't want any details. You don't tell me, that was funny. So just stay positive, and these people are going to stay away from you. All right, good answer. I like it. Let me see. I'll dig into your cards real quick. Okay, Peach. Yeah, just stay happy. I mean, honestly, just stay happy. Let me get your cards out. I'm going to do a quick reading for you. So what's coming up this week? It says you're verge of leveling up. Yeah, you just told me that, right? You're on the verge of leveling up. You need to let go of all of this. Master your emotions. Just stay. That's funny. Stay clear of the drama. And yes, this week's going to be a turning point for you. So the first couple of days, it's going to take a little bit for you to get used to being cheery and happy around these. Trust me, I know. I know, working with people like that. But by Friday, you're going to get the hang of it. Everything's going to be fine. Okay. All right. We have about, I'll do 5-ish minutes. Oh, no, AK, it's fine. It's fine. I really do, AK, see you like soaring. Remember I told you you were a bird? I see you soaring. Like, don't even question it. Don't question. Just go. Okay. Okay, I have 5 minutes left. Anybody else have any other questions for tarot, numerology? You're welcome, Peach. Make sure that you're giving this live stream a thumbs up so you tell YouTube you like my lives. And I'm also hit subscribe. So I have new material coming out a couple times a week. And you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter. If you have a topic for me to cover on YouTube, like a video content, make sure you can comment underneath any of the videos. You can DM me on Instagram. If I choose your topic, I will feature you asking it if you'd like to. Okay. Oh, I'm going to call you Enchanted. I love it. What's coming in love for me? All right. Thanks, Bob. Oh, thanks for subscribing. Thank you so much. All right. What's coming in love for you? Okay, so right away I'm seeing that you had like there were 3 different loves in close proximity in timing for you. And I kind of see you just walking away from them, like you're nope, 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 and walking away. Go ahead, you can ask me another question. Anastasia Enchanted, I really do see you with a lot of confidence. And that's good. So what I'm saying is 3 in total is what they're saying to me. Okay, confidence. You need to have confidence because you can't be the only they're saying you can't be the only confident one in the relationship, because if your partner isn't confident, then your partner is going to see that as a threat, and then it's going to be like a bad relationship. Let's see what's coming up. I do see super confident. Okay, first card is joy and alignment. Do you have one specific type of love that you are looking for? Anastasia, do you have one specific kind of person that you're looking for? Because this card is telling me that you, yeah, the guys are saying, yep. She won't even look the other way. Okay. Yeah, I could do a video on the Dark Knight. That's not I liked the Dark Knight, only that I knew I was going to be better on the outcome, but it was not fun in the Dark Knight. Okay, so this card is talking about being trapped by circumstances, and that, yep. Okay, I'm going to talk about the Dark Knight in 1 minute, because when you get out of the Dark Knight is when you're going to be able to do all of this. Okay, so don't try to push it. This second card is talking about you're being trapped by circumstances, and now that makes sense. You need to move through your Dark Knight and get rid of all of the shadow parts of you. When I did this, it kind of scared me a little bit because, like, I know depression. Okay, so I've been through depression, but when I went through my Dark Knight, like, it was not depression. Like, I was not like in despair. I just didn't know who I was anymore because I had gotten rid of like all the bad parts of me. And I had to fill myself back up with good things. So I started to journal. I started to journal about the day. I started to identify my karmic patterns. And I also had Holly. I want to do this with friends and groups. I want to like help coach groups on how to get through spiritual awakenings, because it's so much easier when you have somebody to get through something like a Dark Knight. So that card's talking about the Dark Knight. You're trapped right now, and you have, no, you don't need a relationship right now, because being lonely going into a relationship is not great. You need to build a relationship with yourself first. That is what the card is talking about. You're trapped by circumstances and beliefs, and the belief that you need a relationship to solve it is not the correct way to go. Next card, deeply hurt. Deeply hurt. Well, that's what the Dark Knight's about, though. Deeply hurt. All right. Your luck is... Okay, so they're talking about the... Anastasia, they're talking about the Wheel of Fortune and how the wheel always turns. So it can turn good, and when things are going good, but remember, it always turns the other way, too. So right now, you're just going through a tough spot, and you just need to ride it out. Because if you get into a relationship right now, it's going to end up being with somebody... and Holly's ex is coming to my mind. Not good. So make sure that you get through the Dark Knight, and I can help you with that. If you DM me on Instagram, I can talk to you about that. I will help you, because you have to get through all the shadow stuff, have to get all the shadow stuff out in order to build yourself back up into the highest and best version of yourself. All right. And it's a bit of work, but it's worth it. Yep. It's talking about trying to see the bright side. See the bright side. I did a lot of affirmations, Anastasia. Read this book. I think I talked about it last week too. This book, Heal Your Body by Louise Hay. It talks about your body, it talks about your emotions, and there's affirmations to say. So when you say, I recorded them. So when you say those affirmations every day or a couple times a day, it really gets into your subconscious and helps you. This came in and out. I'm interested in what the qualities are that you wrote down, though. Romantic. Yep. Okay, that's the card. So you have these, you have this idea of what it's supposed to be. And I do see you blaming yourself there. What the last card you just caught is called the Tower. And the Tower card is talking about how something is going to burn down. Okay. It's going to burn down. So what you need to do is whatever you're thinking right now. Okay. So I'm imagining you honestly like in a thought box. Ooh, I should talk about thought forms. I'm going to write that down. I'm I imagine you right now in a thought box. So you have these thoughts and they're kind of boxing you in. All right. What you need is open the door on that. Okay. Anything that you're thinking right now that you believe about yourself or you believe about the world or you believe about somebody who can love you, I want you to open your mind and find other, like write two different versions. Like what else could he be? What else could this person be? Because if you get too narrowed into it, that's all you're going to look for. And the universe always sends us somebody that we're not looking for, who's the best person for us. So my advice is to get through the dark night and then revisit this whole romance thing, because the honeymoon phase makes us feel good, right? When you're like in love with somebody, like at first, and then it wears off. And you need to be, aware enough and in a place in life enough where when that wears off, it can keep going. Okay. I'm getting an idea that this guy though was all show. Yeah, and the guys are saying if he didn't stick around, then move on, because I mean, honestly, I remember texting my husband once when I was in the dark night, and I just felt like, blah. And I just texted him and I said, I'm sorry that I'm going through this. I promise I'm gonna get out of it. And he said something to the effect of, I know, and I love you, and I'm here for you. And that's the kind of person that we need, even at our lowest point. Yes. So Anastasia, don't try to manifest anything in the dark night, because that's exactly what's going to happen. Is you're going to get a dark night. Like Holly's ex is just, I mean, that's what you're going to attract. Just get through your dark night. And when you stop focusing so much on having a relationship and you start focusing on yourself, that moves you faster. And my guides are talking to me to tell you about how I felt like I wasn't even stuck in the mud. I was stuck in the cement. Like I had these beliefs about my life, about the world, that like, I just sat in them. I didn't try to change it. I just sat and waited until they went away and just kept doing my affirmations, kept doing journaling. And then one day, and I'll talk about this in a later date. And one day it all changed. And that's when the dark night just I knew I had turned a corner, when something had specific happened. But you can't try to push through it. You have to kind of sit through it, feel your feelings, understand it about yourself, and move through it. And again, message me on DM on Instagram, and I can talk to you more about this, okay? Listen to me. Yeah, I mean, I always look at it this way. Everyone wants to know when they want to get married, when they're going to get married, and when they, are going to find that someone. And the simple answer to say is you'll find that someone when you're perfectly happy with yourself being alone. And your life's fine. One day I feel like, yeah, you'll know when it gets, I mean, I can't even tell you how much better. I mean, I can't tell you how much my life has changed after getting through the dark night. I did not know I used to walk around with this gray field on me. I used to only, two emotions I had, and I did not realize it were anger and apathy, and that was it. And when I stopped choosing to be either angry or apathetic, that's when everything changed. So right now, what I'm feeling from you is you're feeling lonely, and you're taking on a bit of a victim state. And when I say a victim state, I mean that you are looking for people to kind of pity or sympathize with you. And when people do that, it allows us to stay in that state rather than having somebody, I mean, one of my friends in my Psychic Friends network really kicked my butt and was like, you need to get out of this, because if you don't get out of this state, this is where you're going to be for the rest of your life. And think about this now, Anastasia. Do you want to be in the state for the rest of your life? I mean, that's. Let's go back to Holly. Did I see another question? Wait, Gail. I'm interested to learn in a video about your shadow self. Yeah, I'm going to do one about shadow selves, because we learned so much about the law of attraction that I just, and again, I read the book too, The Secret. Go ahead and DM me, okay, Anastasia, and I'll talk more about it, okay? Yeah, I read that book, The Secret, and I loved it, and it was so hopeful, and I had my journal and my manifestation board and all of that, and nothing ever happened. And it wasn't until I went through my spiritual awakening in my dark night, I'm glad she brought that up, when I had to start exploring my shadow self, every one of us has a shadow self. And in brief, what a shadow self is, are those parts of us that we don't like about ourselves. And when we see them in other people, we tend to attack other people when they show them, because they're the same parts of us. So let's just say you're real petty and gossipy. You don't like that about yourself, but you're going to point it out in somebody else and never admit that you are. Okay, that's a piece of a shadow self. So when you get in and explore those kind of things about yourself, you make the law of attraction stronger for you. And that's the part that I'm not seeing anywhere in pop culture talking about the law of attraction, when you absolutely can manifest anything you want, anytime you want, when you get through a spiritual awakening and you're living on a positive vibration. And that's just the simple truth. And, you know, I get tested every day. Like my computer breaks down, annoying. Or, you know, my little ones just walk around with one sock on. Where's your other sock? I don't know, annoying, right? But like, these are all things that like, don't get upset about. And that's how you know you're on a positive vibration, is when you can look at things that generally irritate you or aggravate you and they don't even bother you anymore. Yeah, I'm going to do one about the shadow. Any other questions about the law of attraction I can clear for people while we're talking? Peach Love, did you ask another question? Holly says, I found when I worked on myself and made myself happy and stopped stressing about a relationship, that's when, and that is exactly when you're going to find a relationship. Yes. And for those of you who don't know, Holly's my best friend. And I made 2 videos about her called Soul Contracts. And they're my most popular videos on my channel. And what they do is they talk about soul contracts and difficult relationships. So Holly, I've known Holly for 30 years, and I've watched her go through an abusive relationship. We all did. And she married him. And, you know, I go into it in the video a bit more, but she had to go through that in order to learn lessons and complete her soul contract. And in the video, I explain a little bit more how that works, because her ex was also part of that soul contract that he did not complete. So when it was time to move on, she had to face her fear and just leave. And a lot of people use fear to hold them back. And I'm very, okay, Anastasia, you can ask me. So Holly, even after she left him, took a couple of years to realize that she was still attracting that kind of like violent, you know, just kind of narcissistic kind of guy. So when she finally started working on herself and focusing on herself to be happy, that is when she attracted the man she's with now, who is perfectly lovely to her. And honestly, like, her story is just such a great example of how other people can learn from her. Hopefully I can get her on my Patreon channel soon to talk to my members. Okay, where am I here? Law of attraction. Peach Love, I'm still waiting if Peach Love has another question. And I have another one from Anastasia. I always read you manifest when you're happy, but I have manifestations come in. I was at my lowest point. So I guess no, it doesn't work anytime. What that would be is, how to explain this? It was always going to happen. So like you didn't hear my story about my candles. Okay, so manifestations are really just things that like you don't even think about. You don't focus on, but you just put it out in the universe and the universe will bring it to you. And you don't, and what they've been teaching in the pop culture is that when you focus on it, it'll come to you. And that's not true, because when you focus on it, you kind of turn in your life on that thing, and then you're not happy with yourself. So I'm gonna make short my candle story. I was giving Yankee candles out to my kids' teachers, and when I ordered them, it came too short. And I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, I can't just run out, you know, because we don't have a Yankee candle store here. And my husband's like, don't worry, I'll go get something for the other 2. And I was like, I cannot give the other 2 teachers something different than this nice gift. And I just put it aside for a day. And the next day I came out and we started decorating for Christmas. And I opened a box that had been closed since we moved. It was zipped, it was taped and everything. Opened it up and start getting the ornaments out. And I literally unwrapped 2 candles, the exact size and scent I needed to give to the teachers. So that's manifestation, because they just showed up. What you're talking about is life circumstances that's going to happen anyway. So when you make different choices, what I'm seeing happen there was that you made a different choice than you normally would have. So by you making a different choice, that made that opportunity available to you. And when we're talking about being positive, it doesn't mean that you have to be like, you know, over the moon, like, positive. I'm talking about realistic and being okay with things being flawed in life, and that being okay. So yeah, law of attraction. Let me, there's so much to talk about that, because, and people just have it a little mixed up. It really does just start with us. Holly was very lucky. Holly has an incredible family too. And I think that was a lot of getting her out of that situation, is that she had family to rely on and a good network of friends, when I know a lot of women aren't in that same situation. So while we're talking about this, if you are in that situation and you don't have a good support system, you should be going to a women's and men's shelter, domestic violence shelter. So you do need help out. If you think you're in a relationship that is not healthy and is toxic, you probably are. So you should be reaching out and getting help from somebody to move on. My birthday was in December. All right. Anything else? Law of attraction. Hold on one second. Okay. So they're telling me to talk about chakras too. When we talk about law of attraction, we also need to clear our chakras through, and I don't know, everyone makes chakra clearing so like complicated. It really isn't. I'll do something else about chakras too, clearing your I have a few meditations on my channel about clearing your chakras, but when you need to manifest something, you have to have all of your chakras working together. And most people who are struggling in life have their solar plexus chakra blocked, if not their heart and their throat as well. Because the solar plexus is developed in adolescence and it defines who we are. And if we were in a point in adolescence from like ages 11 to 20-ish, in a situation where people were telling us not good things about ourselves or teaching us unhealthy lessons, that sort of thing, we developed into that and put that into our chakra. So if you have a situation where you need to clear your chakras, oh, they're telling me this for Anastasia for this. Oh, I hear in my head. My spirit guides. Oh yeah, they're telling me this for you, Anastasia, is to go to my channel for my guided meditations. I have 2 up right now. I'm working on a 3rd, but the one to manifest your highest and best life. And they're also telling me you should probably check out the clearing the solar plexus, heart and throat chakra, and that'll help you as well. And I'm going to be doing one on this week, if I get to it, on moving to your highest and best timeline. All right. Yeah, my spirit guides, they talk. Sometimes I hear them with my own ears. Sometimes I hear my father-in-law a lot with my own ears. If I have a contest over on Patreon going on right now. If I get so many members on Patreon, I'm going to tell you all my good ghost stories, what I've encountered. But yeah, I can hear spirits with my ears. I can see them. I mostly hear my guides in my head though. So I know the difference between my guides and spirit. Generally because my guides come from this side and spirit comes from this side. But that's not the same for everybody. I also get extreme clear visions and dreams, if anyone's asking me. Clear visions and dreams where I can see what's going to be happening. With specific situations. Like, did anybody's father get like killed? Because I had a dream the other day that was like so vivid that I have details about it. Like this man, I don't know. I don't know if spirits come to me after they died to show me how they died. I don't know. Any other questions about anything at all, spirituality or, my path, or questions for you? It's 11:18. I'm going to give it like 2 more minutes. Okay. Yeah. Holly's family definitely are angels. Like I've never met a family so supportive as Holly's family. I mean, really, I really feel like I'm talking to like Ma and Pa Ingalls. Like, where'd you come from? And I remember going to Holly's house for dinner when I was a teenager, and like they actually sat down to eat, and like my family never did that. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. You do this every night. So, all right, I'm going to sign off for now. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section. You can DM me on Instagram. I'm also on Patreon. If you want to have a one-to-one session with me, DM me on Patreon. I will give you this the link to sign up for that. On Patreon, I do offer services for people who are looking to move through their spiritual awakening, and also to, I do training in like psychic support and tarot readings. There's a bunch of different packages over on Patreon. So, and again, if I reach a certain level, I will tell everybody my really super cool ghost stories. My Instagram is this is the key to soul awakening. It's the key _2 soul awakening. And for some reason, I'm on Twitter too, but for some reason they made my handle @Stacy, like @AT_Stacy. I didn't do that. I don't know how it happened, but that's my handle. So I invite you please to join me on Instagram. I go live there a lot. I also have this Patreon and on Twitter. All right, so make sure you subscribe. Make sure you gave me a thumbs up with this and this live, and I will see you next Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Love, light, and laughter.